Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Magic and Miracles, where you learn how to be the magician of your life. My name is Anna, and I've created Magic and Miracles with one purpose only: to help individuals of all walks of life all around the world to be able to achieve their manifestation dreams and goals. True story. All the information from me is below. If you'd like to be in coaching with me, please understand that you need to watch a mandatory video. The link is in the description. It will explain everything from the rules of the coaching agreement, which you have to sign and abide by. It's very self-explanatory, but I just go point by point explaining everything you need to know, as well as all the coaching packages. The coaching package that I recommend to start with is the signature coaching package. It allows, especially for somebody who's coming in brand new, I mean, those people who I've worked with for years and those who are coming back from YouTube, for touch ups, I already know their story. But if you're starting out, you need to start with this package because it affords us to rendezvous 3 times per week. Okay. This intensity affords us, again, to shake your belief system loose of the drama mama panorama. Mama drama panorama refers to all the incidents that were really deeply hurtful, that formed those beliefs that govern your world right now unnecessarily. You do not have to believe these things anymore. Nevertheless, they wreak havoc on your romantic life and other areas of your life. Okay. So with this intensity, we go through your history all the way up until today. I'm interested in everything that you have to say to me. I take extensive notes by hand. I recommend that you do as well if you want to succeed. After processing the emotions behind the mama drama panorama, I set you up for life with anything that you are currently working on. I don't just coach with SP questions. I also coach in starting your business. I have a different channel for that, Magic and Miracle CEO. You're welcome to check it out. The link is below. But on this channel, we primarily focus on specific people, boy or girl, guy or girl, that you are after. But I want to really stress that it is up to you to come to this peaceful realization, and a very strong and powerful realization that if it is to be, it is up to me. I'm speaking for you. And if it is so, and it is, then it's you who needs to calm down, right? I say it with all due respect, and to really take matters into your own hands, to stop feeling so powerless, all right? Towards the end of the coaching, I have to mention this because this is instrumental and will help you achieve such magnificent success if you're really sincere in doing this deep dive with me and transferring yourself to the parallel timeline, as it were, where you will have not only your SP but career success, etc. I teach you what I call energy work. Now, nobody teaches it the way that I do. I've done my research and I've created this method when I was a child. I mean, obviously, and of course, I've perfected it since then, but it is so simple that a child can do it. And yet it maintains your manifestations once you already achieved them. And your manifestations are bound to happen because of this. And again, it goes person to person. It's very individual, this approach, the way that I teach, because everybody's different. Everybody has a different story. Everybody has a different background. So the way that I would explain it to one person, I would not explain it the same way to another. Okay. So if you have any questions about the coaching, my email is below. You can email me. All right. So today I'm super duper inspired, super duper excited, super duper happy to start this live, really wonderful energy pulsing through the universe, through my universe anyway. And the topic of today is how to have SP wrapped around your finger 101. Okay. So I really wanted to go over all of the necessary steps for you to be able to refer to this live when you are in trouble, when you are second guessing yourself, when you are forgetting about your power. Okay, and to really refer to this as kind of like, yes, 101, this is your go-to. So number one, you need to understand, as I've mentioned in the previous live, that this SP has absolutely nothing to do with what's going to happen next, nothing to do with what has transpired so far. Okay, now I know it's not about not holding them responsible, but the fact that they live in your reality. Yes, there's certain people that show up that are abusive for certain lessons and certain, certain things for you to understand about yourself. But I'm not going to talk about this right now. I'm going to talk about people who maybe pissed you off, but were not abusive. Maybe you had a disagreement and this and that and the other. Leave them completely out of it. Make it easy for your own mind. Okay, that you are in this school, okay, that is the earth. It's understood. And I'm just giving you the shortcut, the way that it became so simple and easy for me. Now you can frustrate yourself. You can go into these things like holding grudges and trying to understand where it came from. You know, my darling, let's just cut to the chase and say this is your laboratory. This is your laboratory, and the results in the laboratory are going to be as good as you are at that moment. Doesn't mean that you're a bad person. I'm just facilitating that. Believe me, it's going to be so much easier for you rather than looking for the cause on the outside. Okay. Why is it easier? Because you can reverse engineer it. Okay, just like it happens to everybody. Okay, we don't always pay attention. As long as you nip it in the bud, reverse engineer it, as I said, and start brand new. Okay, start on a different path, on a different timeline. So if today you're walking into a reality where your SP is ghosting you, not returning your calls, being an asshole, not an abusive one. Okay, just want to stress this. But understand again, if it is to be, it is up to me. The decision that you're going to make from this point forward is going to be your decision only. And you can, like, like sometimes these like dramatic moments happen in movies, or like a sexy scene, and the guy just like wipes the desk of the girl, and they're like, engaging in some whatever intimacy on the table. It's just like, wipe all the documents and all the objects of the table, just throw everything away. It's not, again, I want to stress, it's not to hold anybody accountable. It's not to not realize what you created. But like, if you're going to sit with this bullshit on your table, metaphorically speaking, like, you're going to get depressed really soon. Okay, understand you have another option. Again, not to take responsibility for it. So throwing everything away and just saying to yourself very simply, what is it that I want now? Just very simply, what is it that I want now? Leaving them out of the equation, leaving what's possible out of the equation. And I feel like with this practice, with this decision making, you have a very simple question to ask of yourself. What if all my fears and insecurities like magically disappeared? Now I know listen, I'm the first one to speak on to this and say that it's not going to happen magically, but that and there's work associated with it, but that you can tap into this reality where your fears become nonsensical, where you give yourself permission to just pause them, okay? And just see your current situation, whatever that might be, even your current, not just SP, but everything around it, everything in your life, from a different perspective. Okay, from a perspective of a person who doesn't have insecurities, who doesn't have fears. They just think of something, a solution, okay, and it will be presented, via your spirit guides, via your higher self. It's an inspiration here. Don't force it. Every time I try to force a solution into existence, it's the same fucking shit. Okay, you force it, you try it like this. Only that many ways that you can force shit in 3D. Sometimes it's necessary. I will agree that certain things, like clerical things, like documents and shit like that, like you have to work hard at it. But the affairs of the heart and manifestation in general does not work like that. Every time I try to force something into existence, I don't do that shit anymore. And in the minute that I relaxed, somebody would call me, somebody would text me, some shit would appear on my screen, okay, that I didn't like. Some answer would appear and I would have the solution presto. So understand there's a solution in another timeline, not so far away from you, just not even a millimeter away from you, that exists presently. Are you allowing your mind to tap into it? What if all my fears disappeared? What if all my problems disappeared? What if everything was the way that I wanted to be? Can you tap into the sentiment? I'm only asking for the sentiment right now, not even the solution. The solution will come from that world that feels like this, that feels like hallelujah, hallelujah. When you go to church and you're like, oh my God, this is it, or if or maybe you go to synagogue, or maybe you go to mosque, or maybe you go whatever. But if you have this, like for me, I grew up in two religions, and Jewish and Christian Orthodox, and because my mom is Jewish and my father is Christian Orthodox, because my dad, obviously the head of the household, we would go to church. And I associated that to answered prayers, some kind of a magical feeling there. Every time I walk into churches, it's like, I don't know, I have goosebumps right now. So imagine that feeling, embody that feeling, whatever gives you that satisfaction of, I have arrived. And follow, first of all, make it a practice whenever you do it, whether you do it in the evening, whether everybody has their favorite time. So I'm not going to, insist on one way or the other, but do that in your day. I mean, my preference personally and my recommendation is in the morning. Why? So simple. You get to shoehorn yourself into the new timeline straight from the morning. Why wait? Kennedy, why wait till the day is over? You could have done this in the beginning, kind of situation. But the decision is yours. Which timeline do you want to reside in? When I'm telling you, you could wake up, make a decision. You know what? My darling love SP is completely turning their shit around, and they're going to greet me with a good morning text, or they're going to greet me with a good morning smile and a coffee or whatever the fuck you drink. Okay, they're going to be a transformed individual. But I'm telling you, it's going to happen that quickly. Can you maintain it? That's the situation that people struggle with, because it's easy to achieve a timeline jump. Can you remain there and make it your permanent address? That's the situation. That's where coaching comes in. Okay. So now, when you made the connection with the timeline and you know damn well, and this is going to be so individual, it's inexplicable. I can't explain it into words. Everybody's different. Everybody feels it different. But you're going to make an acquaintance of what it feels like to be you, like another version of you, a 2.0 version, I call it in my coaching, where you are confident. You are self-assured. Why? Because in that world, you have no such fucking problems. You don't chase. You don't need to wait by the phone or whatever it is that you're kind of doing as far as chasing. Everything just naturally comes to you, which is how it's supposed to be. So when you start operating from that mindset, and if you're, diligent enough and disciplined enough, it's this sentiment, even so little, you can spend 5 minutes there, guys, and you're going to get so addicted to this feeling in the best way possible that you're going to want to go there more often. How would that version think of this situation right now that I'm dealing with? What decision would they make bravely without mama drama panorama? What would they be feeling right now? And here's the top question that I feel like anybody who, well, forget SP, anything at all, but in particular, dealing with SP situations, how do you really feel about this person? That's the whole shebang. How do you really feel about money? How do you really feel about filling the blank? But how do you really feel about this SP right now? This is the answer to all of your fucking questions. If you're feeling resentment, unforgiveness, you might be justified, and that's completely valid. I am not in to invalidate your feelings here. However, and this is the big however, if you want to see a change in this motherfucker, in this person, whoever they are, it's your job to change the station. And you can redo them top to bottom. But if you continue resenting, anger, this is the only program going out, nothing's going to change. And you're going to, and I have heard so many stories from my clients in my coaching where it's like years could go by and nothing will change. And sometimes people get so used to holding that resentment, holding that anger, holding that unforgiveness, that it doesn't even occur to them that that's what they're doing. Okay, but it's a mathematical equation, I tell you, how you really feel about them underneath it all. Whether, have you let go of that unforgiveness? Have you let go, honestly, in all honesty, of that grudge? And I really mean, you don't wish them ill. Like, when you think of them, there's nothing but love. I mean, this is ideally. Okay, there's nothing but love. There's nothing but understanding. Again, you're learning. You're in this school called Earth. And you know what? If you really want to be with this person, you better work on forgiveness. How are you going to be in a relationship with somebody who you don't actually like? Don't worry. I'll wait. Hold on 1 second. Excuse me. My tea. Already thirsty. Oh. So the thoughts then, I really wanted to explain this. And every time I rewatch my lives, I feel like I never get to the bottom of it, which I guess is a good thing. So the thoughts and the feelings, like everybody wants to understand how to make them think a certain way, how to make them feel a certain way. Well, my darling, it's so easy. And I know you're going to be like rewatching this or watching it right now, like, well, it's easy for you. It is that easy. The hard part is really coming to terms with your own power. To understand that, yes, I am that powerful. Yes, I have that much control over my reality. Okay. Once you cleanse the resentment and the mama drum panorama, at any given day, so let's just imagine today, wherever you are in the world, you took the time to connect to that timeline where you are fearless, where you are brave, where there are no more obstacles because you're not putting them in front of you. You're going for the solution oriented world, not the world in which anger resides. Okay. And you can start painting from scratch. You can start creating from scratch. What kinds of thoughts would you introduce directed towards that person? Like, it could be something so simple. Okay. Again, a lot of people here want to get married and this and that. Fine, start with that. We are getting married. So and I are getting married. Now, in the beginning, of course, you're starting out in a place where nothing could be further from the truth. Now, this is entirely your job, again, to come into agreement with this thought. Maybe it's not marriage you are after. Maybe you just want to live together, coexist under the same roof, whatever, some kind of a partnership, okay, in life. Whatever that declaration is, at first blush, it's unbelievable. But the more time you spend with it, it's like, the composition that comes to mind is The Dark Knight's I'm Not a Hero. I remembered, by Hans Zimmer. It goes no 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 no. Starts out slow and then it builds and builds and builds into a crescendo. It's like a thought, we're gonna get married, and you're like, oh please, yeah, okay, whatever. And then if you write it out, like in my coaching, I'll show you. We use these index cards. Okay, they're like 3x5 cards. And you can write out your intention like here. and you just place it on your desk where it's visible, la-di-da, and you'll notice. I mean, eventually you'll get better and better at it, but you'll notice like these words, they have energy. They belong to another world where this statement is reality, where this statement is the truth completely. And the more you spend time with it and you're tuning into this powerful version of you who doesn't need permission to feel in a certain way, okay, the whole thing could be contradicting you right now. Nothing could be agreeing with your statement. Nothing can be agreeing with the choices of the decisions, okay, that you're making. But you have this undying hope, if you will. Even hope will do. I mean, to me, hope is a beggar, not for nothing. But even that will do to start with. Because if you do have hope, after hope, there will be, wow, what if it did come true? So your mind is acclimating towards it. In the same manner, the way that your mind acclimates to it daily and day by day, it starts building, wow, eventually becoming a certainty. Yes, duh, of course we're gonna get married. And it's like, I don't need to look at this piece of paper anymore. I mean, I save all of the like the best declarations that help me achieve monumental success in my own manifestations. But you don't have to in that sense. But that piece of paper helps you focus your mind. It's a portal, that feeling that you will cultivate around the statement. It's a portal to that reality. So in the same manner that you're acclimating to that idea, your SP is acclimating at the same fucking time. It's just a miracle how it works, but just a complete miracle indeed. The same thing in the minute that you start turning around your feelings and you start forgiving them and you starting maybe even taking credit for your own faults. Okay, it's never just one person. It takes two to tango kind of situation. And even if you didn't do anything in the 3D, you sure as shit affected it emotionally, energetically, this and that. This is why it's so important to be aware of the kind of energy you're feeding it. So your thoughts and your feelings are in fact the thoughts and the feelings of your SP. Simple like that. It's kind of like it's a mirror image of you. There just happen to be maybe of opposite sex, same sex, whatever, a different person. But they're a replica of you. So if I wanted today to affect anybody, but I mean anybody, whether I have met them in person or not, romantic, not, it doesn't fucking matter. You just make it your own business to convince your own mind first. You ain't going nowhere without convincing your own mind. I'm just telling this to you right now. You're not going to get a validation from anybody. No help is coming from without. Okay, your SP is not going to motivate you for shit, sure not, because you're the one in charge. And that's something, really don't forget that for 1 second, that you are in charge. So flip that shit around from feeling powerless to being in fact all powerful. Okay, you're just not using your power. So the thoughts and the feelings, it's so much fun for me personally to cultivate those, because again, only I know what I'm doing in my imagination. Only I know how it feels to be in that reality. Only I know, therefore, how I'm affecting that person at a distance. Again, I could have never met that person in my fucking life. I could see an email. I've done this many times. Okay, this is why I encourage everybody to do things benevolently only, because you have no idea the impact that you have on your life, on your SP, whatever. You can have an email from a person you've never met. Okay, and just seeing their name again, there's their energy right there. You have no idea what you can do with an email alone. You can read their thoughts, you can send them good vibes, you can affect shit in their life. I've done this with my clients unbeknownst to them. Okay, so don't tell me that the person who you're so involved with energetically, emotionally, in thought form, that you cannot change them. Yes, you can. You absolutely can. You just have to get determined enough, willing enough to change. Okay, right now, the way you're doing things, they're just not working. We all need to get humble enough at some point and realize, okay, you know what? I'm doing the same shit. It's not working. Okay, so let's try a different way kind of situation. And at first blush, it might be uncomfortable. Everything new is uncomfortable. But if you're not uncomfortable, my darling, you're not growing. You're not growing. You're just gonna be like, well, everybody else is married but me, or everybody else is moving along with their life but me. Change is the absolute constant. You have to change things around. I'm so aware of it. Like, I'm a Taurus, and my natural inclination, if I'm talking about myself, is to keep things the way they are, kind of like earth sign and all this kind of shit. And I've learned it from very early on, from teens, that that's just a recipe for disaster. You cannot keep the things the same way and succeed, because the universe is always for expansion, for learning new things, for becoming bigger, better, da da da. Are you going to keep certain people and certain things in life that dear to your heart? Absolutely. But to do things the same way over and over, it just doesn't exist. Everybody has to evolve. Okay, so thoughts and feelings. This is so powerful. Experiment with it. Write about it. Think what you want to think. Start paying attention to what you're actually thinking right now about them. Journal about it. This will help you a great deal. Okay, now, in the event that something happens or happened already or has been happening, okay, some kind of an event that's displeasing. And I know, for somebody who's coming off of a lot of mama drama panorama, and maybe a cycle after a cycle after a cycle, you are under the impression that, wait a minute, something's wrong with me. Nothing's wrong with you. It's not about that. It's just that someone needs to help you figure out what to change. Okay, if you can't do it on your own, then yes, you need somebody to help you. There's nothing wrong with you. It's just that the approach needs to change. Rather than arguing again with the person themselves, or sending angry texts or angry emails, and don't worry, I've been there myself. It's just not effective is all. Okay, it's just really not effective at all. Okay, you really have to act like the golden Buddha. This is the metaphor I use for your highest potential. A golden Buddha doesn't fucking argue. Why? Because they know that even if you have a disagreement with somebody, or they've pissed you off, or they're not responding to your text, they're ghosting you, you're not going to descend to that level. What you are going to do is you're going to go back to your drawing board and redo the whole motherfucking shebang. Even if, like, look at this. I do this with my clients all the time. Even if something seems like it's about to happen, like, let's just say you got a message from them that's kind of like concerning, and you think your experience so far, the cycle so far, has been that, well, they're about to break up with me for the gazillionth time, or whatever, or they're about to break up with me, and this is yet another breakup I've experienced this year already, or I don't know what your situation is. Well, provided you really like this person and you don't want for that to happen, it's within your power to take a break. And again, to realize, what have I been sending out thus far? Have I been sending out disappointment? Have I been sending out dread? Have I been sending out, yeah, this day is coming when they're going to break up with me? Okay. If you only have a couple of hours, that's enough to redo it and jump into another parallel timeline. The idea, though, is that you know what you don't want. Let's write out what you do want. Okay, and what you want is completely diametrically opposed, could be. What you want is, I've been thinking about you so much. Now, every situation is different, so please don't quote me. But example could be, it could be completely different what will happen, because you took initiative and redirected yourself. And you said to yourself, you know what, I don't prefer the breakup, obviously. I would prefer, actually, them telling me that, I don't know, maybe they want to move in with me. Maybe they want me to meet their family, maybe whatever. something completely different, something actually more serious. Like we're getting more serious, we're getting closer, or they wanted to ask me to go for a long vacation with them. And that's not normal that we do that. Maybe we just met. I don't know your story. You know your story. And you literally sit with this timeline. When I'm telling you you could do this in a matter of an hour, I've done this in a matter of minutes. So I know it's possible to do it in a matter of hour. You just, again, it's how I started. Who would you be without these fears? Who would you be without these insecurities? What kind of a motherfucking glorious superstar would step out of that situation being really fed up with the cycle? What if you made that choice? It's literally like a choice away. You're jumping timelines. It's a choice away. I choose for you to tell me you're madly in love with me, can't live without me. And therefore, you need to be with me 24/7. And therefore, we're moving in. That kind of deal. And if you sit with it and you embody this feeling and it washes through you and just, it's like an aura lights up around you. You just it goes beyond the assumption. I want to say, like when Neville says assume, yeah, that's great, but embodiment, like total emerging, just transferring yourself into this world, walking in that world, and therefore seeing everything with the eyes of, I know exactly what's going to happen. I know exactly what's going to happen because, see, I chosen dread before. It got all pictured. So I'm choosing again. And if I have to do it quickly, very intensely, and just center myself, you have no idea the potential you have. Can I just tell you something? You don't. That's the whole shebang. If you really squarely, purely focus your power on that outcome, like let's just say they want to move in with you or whatever, tell you something completely different. I mean, depending on your mama drama panorama levels, if they don't tell you exactly what you've written down, they're going to tell you something that is definitely different from I want to break up with you, which is what you were expecting. It might be a deviation enough for you to prove to yourself, hey, I'm doing something here. And next time, now that you're, hey, hello, how are you? kind of deal, you're becoming more confident. Next time you'll sit down, you will play more of a god, okay, and less of a beggar. It's not being written as a request. It's being written as a declaration. This is what I'm commanding. I'm commanding, not like I'm being a narcissist and controlling everybody, you know what I mean, with my will. No, I'm declaring what kind of reality I want to live in. And in this reality, this person tells me this. I've just joined the party. I've jumped on the right train. You see what I'm saying? So this is the whole shebang, leaving everything else behind, leaving your past, even personality behind, taking all the good parts with yourself and embarking on a completely different journey. Don't know what that was, don't care so much necessarily. Learn your lessons, take all the golden nuggets in that sense and the gems, but don't stay there emotionally. It's like that's a world that's valid and it will continue existing after you exit your consciousness out of it. It's just not that much fun. Anyway, so reworking every event in your favor. And we can go, for the sake of live, I'm going to keep it brief somewhat. Um, and so it follows then that you never have to chase again. All right. So it's the internal power only. So a couple of declarations that I've written down. I already know how it's going to go. Okay. I don't have to chase because at a distance, I've already had the meeting with my higher self, with my guardian angels, with my inspirations, with my own counsel. I've already decided what's going to be, which part of reality. I'm entitled to that. I'm entitled to that 100%. And I'm entitled to get help from the invisible forces, from angels, from my guardian angels, from passed on loved ones. I know my grandmother, my maternal grandmother, for shit sure is by my side, as is my dog. Like, watch out. I'm so serious. They're very fucking powerful. Their energy, I feel so strongly. And so you will have your own. Okay. you understanding how much help you will get, even if you're in transition, even if you're shaky, even if you're wondering, am I really this powerful? In the minute that you will ask to be shown how powerful you are, you will be shown it, and you will never forget it. Just believe in your power. I even have it on my desk. Before I began, I was cleaning my desk. Believe in your own power. That's the whole thing. Two questions, just if nothing else you take away from this live. How do I really feel about my SP? And believe in my own power. How do I really feel? Can I really let myself talk even to myself? Okay, if you're not going to come into coaching with me or somebody else, can I really vocalize it? Maybe you can record yourself. Like some of my clients do that when they're not in session with me, and really vocalize what the fuck I feel. Doesn't have to be pretty, okay? But once it's on the table, so to speak, once it's out there, now I have something to work with. Now I understand where the trouble is coming from, okay? Another one, really powerful. It's like, I've said this a couple of times before. The best creation is when you did make a decision. You made a wholehearted decision, but you can't tell where your decision ends and where the divine help begins. In other words, it's a merge of two, and the new timeline suddenly starts feeling so familiar. It's a feeling of home. It's calling you there. Like that reality where you're SP and you are married, or whatever it is you want to have with them. It's the more you sit with it, the more you meditate with it, right? The more you make an effort to connect, like the invisible telephone line, the more it's going to fill in with this powerful vibration for you, calling you over there. Okay. And you're gonna say, just like I thought it would be. That's just like I thought it would be. They will give you visions of, like, they will say this and then you should say this, but maybe they might say this, but in the event that they do say this, say this. They will even give you shit like that. And personally, again, I know I've said this many times before, try to meditate in silence, so you can hear the direction. I can hear them talking to me all the time, like not really loud. Okay, their voice, like the angelic voice, is very like, well, what do you think about this? Very like non-pushy. But I think we think you should do this, and in the future, da da da. So you have to be able to hear them. It's almost like your thoughts, but not really. It's a very benevolent feeling, very like motherly almost kind of deal. Okay, so just like I thought it would be. Another one, another declaration, and again, just use it as you see fit to your situation, like it never even happened. Okay, now what do I mean by this? Really quick, I have audios on my predecessor channel. The link is below, and on this channel, I believe, maybe, I don't know. But like it never happened means the switch over is so uncanny. Okay, from the person that you used to know, the version of the SP that you used to know, and the new version that you're like, whoa, what just happened? Freak yourself out. This is my favorite. This is the best. Okay, to show you your own power. And you could say, like it never happened. Now, again, it doesn't erase responsibility. It doesn't erase the fact that they should come and apologize to you. They should make up to you. Blah, blah, blah. But it will be like it never even happened. Like the transition between two timelines, it will be so evident, so self-evident, that you will be just like, wow, what, like, really, wow, what just happened? I've had that happen to me many times, and it only happens. Here's what I want to say: the universe will only give you what you can actually digest, and not only that, but accept as your own doing. Okay, what do I mean by that? Like, it will happen only if you request it. Okay, if you sit there with the mama drama panorama and you think this is all that's available, the universe obliges you still. But in the minute, and this is what I'm here to encourage you, ask for more. Ask for the biggest and the highest and all of these things. Okay. So, what's more, the biggest and the highest for a personality of yours who doesn't know any limits, doesn't know any fears, doesn't know any insecurities. Okay. So, it will only give you such an experience when you're literally asking for it. You don't have to necessarily ask for it verbatim, although it helps, okay, just to kind of outline specifics. But energetic asking is even more powerful. Like, as a for instance, I've oh my god, I've created so many different things this way, where in the moment of frustration I would say, I wish I never had to do this again, or I wish that this was so and so. And this powerful energy comes out of you, and it's literally like, that movie Big with Tom Hanks, when he goes into the in front of the Zohar, whatever it's called, that machine, and he makes the wish. It's exactly like that. I mean, I'm not gonna like make it long for the live right now, but I have so many examples where it's like literally what I said, the energy that came out of my body, not desperate, okay, but kind of deliberate, like really a fucking headed of this reality. I wish da 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 da. I wish this was like this and like that. This is the energetic, and you don't have to, in that sense, do it with your words. You can do it with your energy alone. But that you can request those events in your life that will complete, I mean, you will be completely shocked. I don't care who you are. So many different things can happen that will shake up your view of what's possible completely, and you will look back at this experience that you're living today, perhaps, or maybe it already happened to you before and you're willing to looking to replicate it. But if it hasn't, it will change your perception on how, like, what this world even is. You will never look at it the same way. You will never actually react to Mama Drama Panorama. Yes, it's unpleasant. Yes, it's whatever, but you will understand its place in life and you will know exactly what to do. Okay. Um, Here's a declaration that I wrote down. I was very inspired this morning. I give deep thanks now that my biggest challenges turned into the biggest successes and biggest golden nuggets of my life, elevating my whole life to a higher ground. Okay, I'll read it again just to make sure. I give deep thanks now that my biggest challenges turned into the biggest successes and biggest golden nuggets of my life, elevating my whole life to a higher ground. Okay. Another one. I accept ease and natural flow in my romantic relationships and being loved and adored no matter what as my actual identity. One more time. I accept ease and natural flow in my romantic relationships and being loved and adored no matter what as my actual identity. I no longer identify myself as somebody for whom it's even an option to be ignored. It's even an option to leave somebody on red, as they say, or to be ghosted. This is not an option. This does not exist in my world. Therefore, if they are ghosting me, that's what it seems like. They're doing something else. They're busy with something else. Or I haven't activated them. Believe me when I'm telling you, if I wanted a fucking phone call today, for whatever reason, from one of my exes, I would fucking get it today. Okay? It's like you have this invisible telephone across the world, across whatever, across all timelines and parallel realities. If you really activated yourself purely squarely, minus the mama drama panorama, and you from scratch built an emotion that this event would produce in you, and you literally gave them, the script. Here are your lines, dear actor. This is what you're going to say to me. They do not have a way to refuse. They don't. You press the button, it works. You go to the piano, you press the key, it makes a sound. All right? It's just which keys are you pressing? You can make anybody say anything, feel anything, think anything. Because just like I said, you can do it all. It's just be benevolent and, don't spread yourself around. Don't do it like, I'm in charge of like a whole army of people now. Anyway, use it as you go. So I think that the sentiment that I want to really infuse this life with is that don't doubt it anymore. Don't doubt your power. Don't doubt your decisions. This is how they will come true. If you doubt your own decisions, if you're not truly married to them, if they haven't descended into your subconscious mind, know that it's for you to do, for you to work on it, right? But look how everybody else is off the hook. Look how easy in that sense life becomes. Because if there is work to do, well, that's something you can do. And then you don't go around being angry with anybody. Even with the malicious people, you're not angry. In fact, you're thanking them. When you're ready to look, I know it's not easy, okay? Not for everybody is going to be easy, but even the shit that they've done that pissed you off is a golden nugget, I promise you, okay? And you realize, wait a minute, if I created it, I have nobody to be angry with. I have only golden nuggets to retrieve from the situation by learning more about how powerful I am. Okay, so if I'm upset that they're ghosting me, as I'm upset with them, when in fact I'm actually upset with myself that I'm not doing anything about it. And maybe you didn't understand that. Well, I'm here to tell you, you're actually upset with yourself because you feel powerless. When that is not reality, you have all the power in this relationship and you ought to claim it. So don't doubt it anymore. It just accept it as a done deal. In the moment that you spoke it, in the moment that you've written the declaration out, okay, in the moment that the energy left your body, in the moment that you've come to agreement, that's exactly what I want. If this comes true, I will be oh so fucking happy. That's it. It exists. Now let it breathe and don't leave this world. If you leave this world for some time, it's okay. You're getting acclimated towards it. But know that it was done even before you asked. It was done and it will continue being done. Where you are you in that world or are you outside that world? That becomes the only question. And it's like, I don't know, this vision came to me before I was going on live. It's like you're in the center, right? Like the golden Buddha that you are. And around you are all of these timelines, all of these parallel realities, right? It's like a library of all the things that already are. Okay? You just kind of like shuffling through them like, where is my timeline? Where is my reality that I really, really fucking want? In other words, when I'm making a statement, I want to be married to this guy. Click. Here is the real. You've just, and provided again, your vibration aligns with it, as in you're not doubting it anymore. You've let go of the fears. You only know purely, squarely that reality out of the library of those realities and timelines. Hoopla, out pops this movie. And now you're like, ooh, I didn't think about this. I didn't. All of these ideas will come into your mind. All of these inspirations, visions. From that moment on, you're not the same person. Allow yourself this freedom. Allow yourself that freedom, yes, to dream, to expand your horizons. Your situation right now is not all there is. I mean, that would be really pitiful if that was the truth. Okay? It's far, you are capable of such unimaginable things that it's indescribable. Only you will find out, okay, in your own way. And so let it breathe all the while you remain in that timeline where what you decided stands. And don't you ever forget who's the big shot in the room. Okay, if you metaphorically in the room or literally in the room, if you happen to be in the room with your SP and you forget all about who's the big shot, not in a narcissistic sense again, but just knowing your worth, knowing your decision making power, Sometimes I go like this. Knowing your decision making power, knowing the power of your energy, knowing how powerful you really are with this reality. It seems like other people are doing something else, but you're only joining this reality for some time. If it's not pleasing to you, switch the fucking reality. And everything switches, and it's like, oh, it's like it's always been like this, you know? That's my other thing. My other declaration. It feels like it's always been like that because you feel at home in that timeline. You feel like, well, it's about bloody fucking time. Like it'd be like this, you know, it's about time that you come kiss my toes with jam or Nutella. Oh my God. Don't forget who's the big shot. You're the big shot. Doesn't mean you're going to disrespect people, but you have the decision making power, which timeline you're going to go to, what's going to happen next. Don't forget that shit, okay? Don't mess with the divine process of the how. This is my favorite because a lot of people, again, try this way and try this way. Listen, the answer, it will come to you so normally and so naturally. Again, if you're writing down the declaration of this guy is going to propose to me or we're going to get married, can I tell you something? Right now, as we're talking about this, it might seem like a far-fetched dream, you know, somewhere over the rainbow. No, darling, no. It's like not even a millimeter away from you. Like I'm telling you right now, this guy or girl, if you're really deliberate and diligent about it enough, again, it will happen so fast. I mean, your head might spin. I'm not just saying this. It has happened to me. In other words, when you write shit down, be ready for those things. Accept them as real now. Okay? It's not just assume, it's accept that it is like this now. You've just chosen, okay? And it's a totally different feeling from, I wish upon a star. No, don't wish upon a star. It's here now. It's literally here now. You're writing your destiny into existence, okay? Now, how it's going to happen, what do you give a shit? Okay, all you're interested in is that you're married, that you're with that person, that you're enjoying your life, that they finally popped the question. Now, these things, yeah, you can create scenes and this and that, but how they're going to get there and how the phone call will come and don't bother. I mean, can you please have a little fun? And that's the most fun. That the universe will orchestrate it in such a normal, casual, completely like, you know, this is how it's supposed to be. This is how it was always supposed to be. So it's not a big deal. It will manifest. And if you are that way too, not to mention, or we should mention, you know, when you don't try to kill it with micromanaging, it will unveil itself faster. It will just present itself to you like no big deal. Oh yeah, you wanted marriage? Here it is. Oh, you wanted a proposal? Here it is. Oh, you wanted $1 million? No problem. It's when you start like idolizing them and being like, oh my God, this will solve all my problems kind of situation. No, you will solve all your problems. Okay, you will solve all your problems because you are now a totally different person. You will be creating this shebang from a perspective of an empowered person, one that's not afraid of their power anymore, knows their power, knows the power of their words, knows the power of their imagination, of their energy. But when you stop controlling the how and you go about your business doing other shit and not obsessing, don't care so much. In other words, I know you care about it and you're going to be like, well, Anna, how is it like you're telling me not to care so much when I've cared about this all my life? That's the problem. I'm so serious. When you let go a little bit, like, okay, an example would be if you start obsessing over breathing air. Okay, I'm so serious right now. How do you breathe air? Do you, oh my God, there's not gonna be enough air, I better hold it in. No, you don't do that shit. It's the same way. It's the same way. A way will be presented to you when you stop holding the air in. When you stop, you know, fixating on your phone or checking your email every 5 fucking seconds. When you're sitting there and checking and obsessing and caring, all of that speaks loud and clear to the universe, you don't believe for one fucking second what you're expecting. You're trying to maneuver it into, I mean, and then like what? Okay, so let's just say you get the answer. It's still not going to be the answer that you want, because you are on a timeline of such mega worry, of such mega stress, and you're projecting it into your creation. Isn't it a lot more fun to just go about your business? You've just plugged in a new timeline, as it were. In this timeline, you're doing something else. You're working on that project. You're, I don't know, planting flowers, making cakes, whatever the fuck. I don't know. This SP is not the main dish, my darling. It should be like apropos, like, again, a handbag, a wallet. They're coming along on the right. Make it this way so that they obsess more about you. That's side note here. I think you guys know this. When you obsess about something, well, you're not giving them a chance to obsess over you. There's too much energy going there. For a change, try it out. Whatever they're doing right now, don't respond in the same way. Do your inner energy and thought and feeling work for yourself to adjust into the new person. They will be obsessing over you. Number one, because you've changed, okay, into a new person. And then number two, that new personality of you doesn't feel the need to obsess over it, because you've got it like that. You have it easy. You have it like breathing air. Like if you go to the supermarket and for shit sure apples are always there. Apples are always at the supermarket, okay? You will always run into apples at the supermarket. What can I tell you? That's how little you have to care about it, okay? So making it a usual thing in your mind, and then it becomes completely free flowing. And the last point that I wanted to say is everything is coded, right? Your reality is coded. If you want to have your SP wrapped around your finger, you have to code them this way. And what do I mean? Daily practice of sitting down and, again, brick by brick, emotion by emotion, thought by thought, formulating this guy or girl in precisely the way that you want them, to the point where you no longer can think of this person in any other way. Like right now, you're still kind of aware of the other version that's kind of upsetting you, okay, or has done something that you don't like. When you code, I mean, you could do this for everything in your reality. Code somebody in this way, meaning you're restructuring them thought by thought, emotion by emotion, day by day, you're plugging more energy in there. Your mind will transform how you view them. You're doing it for your own mind. When you can, like, you can still access the memory of them being the way that they used to be, but it's so bleak, it's so far away, it's so whatever. All you see is what you coded. It's just like a computer program. You coding your SP with your intentions, the daily deposits that you put there. And can I tell you, in a very short period of time, you will be able to achieve a transformation that perhaps you've been dreaming on for years. For years. Just this deliberate decision day by day of not playing the same old person, of pretending small, of being insignificant, of being at the mercy of their text or their call. No, flip the whole fucking game around and make yourself the big shot. But you don't have to announce it to them. You're just going to, like, you don't understand how much power there is in the quiet confidence. What's that? You're doing this? Go ahead. I don't care. What, I mean, that's your job, to do whatever you do. Knowing all the while without explaining anything to your SP, like, I can change them in my mind. I can restructure this event. I'm in the matrix just playing around. I'm coding you as you are doing this. I'm already working on the next version of you. I'm already constructing that event. Don't worry about it. Kind of deal. So that confidence, you don't need to scream about it. It just comes around with experience with seeing the results, and you will see those results if you do it today and you just concentrate on overturning a certain discussion, or turning them around, or making them say something, or changing their mind, even if it's not exactly what you wanted at first, and even if it's a little change, that's a victory already. You just continue building in that direction, continue coding them in that direction, and you will achieve that pristine result. And everybody around you will look around and say, "Oh, overnight success." Yeah, okay, sure. Overnight success. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in and rewatching. Big thumbs up on the way out. And all information from me again is below. Until next time. Ciao, ciao. Big kiss.